This is a breaking news alert.
Some breaking news now, a follow-up to a story we did about a year ago, a story that did not get very much coverage, and for a very clear reason, because the mainstream press wants to suppress stories like this when it comes to Muslim refugees and the abhorrent behavior that has been exhibited by some of these here. Well, now after these Muslim refugees gang raped a 5-year-old girl, they gang raped her, they were arrested, and now the trial has concluded, but here's the kicker. The judge did something so unspeakable to the victim's parents. We've got all the details now. Leo Homan for WorldNet Daily is now reporting as if it never even happened. A judge sentenced 3 Muslim refugee boys in the sexual assault of a 5-year-old girl in Idaho. Okay. He writes, nobody knows the length or the terms of the sentence because the judge has barred everybody in the courtroom, including the victim's own parents, from speaking about the case. However, the horrible facts have now come out. Pamela Geller is reporting that the sexual assault occurred at Fawn Brook Apartments in Twin Falls, Idaho, and it was when a 5-year-old girl was lured into a laundry room. She was stripped of her clothing, urinated on, orally and anally raped, while the oldest boy filmed the entire incident. And now the victim's lawyer is facing contempt charges because of a benign comment that he made to the Idaho Statesman about the parents' unhappiness with the verdict. This picture here is the young victim and her mother. Now, Homan, with WorldNet Daily, he continued that Matthew Staver, who is the chairman and the co-founder of the nonprofit legal assistance agency Liberty Counsel, he told WorldNet Daily that Judge Borison, now this is from the WorldNet Daily article, Judge Borison was completely out of line in issuing a gag order after the fact in a criminal case. He said, quote, "It is unconstitutional for the judge to do that." He said there are gag orders that can be put on people during a jury trial, or if it's a minor, they can prohibit you from mentioning the name of the minor, but they can't gag you after the fact. He said this is public at this point. The judge, he says, it just seems like he's forgotten about the First Amendment in this case. He has no authority to do this, and he can't hold someone in contempt to keep them from speaking out about their displeasure with a case after the fact. Now, in an op-ed for WorldNet Daily, they continue here that the anti-Sharia activist Pamela Geller, she called the judge's decision a travesty of justice. And she said, as Idaho Muslim rapists go unpunished. She says the travesty of justice in Idaho is now complete. Instead of getting justice, the victim's family has been abused by law enforcement and governing authorities as if they were the criminals because what happened to their little girl contradicts the politically correct narrative about Muslim migrants. She wrote, on Monday, this is where it gets crazy. On Monday, the perpetrators were sentenced, and the final injustice was actually done to the poor girl. Okay. She says that there were 12 to 15 people in the courtroom for the sentencing hearing, and one of them actually leaked the outcome to Pamela Geller anonymously. She said, quote, "And the more I heard, the more I understood why this judge wanted to keep all the proceedings secret." She said, Janice Kroger, the senior deputy prosecuting attorney who was supposed to be trying these boys for their crimes, defended the boys and repeatedly attacked Lacey, the victim's mother, seen here. They write here, a therapist for the boys was present, as well as a parole officer and a detective. She continues that everything that was said was designed to portray the perpetrators as the victims. Okay, now I want to be very clear. The picture on the right that you're seeing here is actually stock photo of children playing with guns. The picture on the left is actually the victim. Okay, so this is an editorial image, and it is just to help understand the weight of this entire message here, this article. Now they write here, throughout the proceedings, the children, the three Muslim refugee children were repeatedly called victims. They say here the court heard about how the attackers were doing well in school, how smart they are, according to Pamela Geller's statement. They were praised for the supposed ordeal that they had to go through. And it was claimed that all three are now suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder for having to go through the courtroom proceedings. Can you believe that? So these three Muslim refugee boys, two from Iraq, and I believe one was from Sudan, anally and orally raped this young girl, urinate on her, and videotape the entire event. And they have post-traumatic stress. That's what they're claiming. She writes here that, quote, after the love fest, which lasted for 5 hours in the courtroom, all three boys were sentenced one after another, and all three were given probation. They were not found guilty of rape, but sexually lewd conduct. No jail time, just probation. And they are allowed to walk free after the horrible act that they performed against this young child's will. I should point out that this young child, she is mentally handicapped. She's not, I don't know what her disease or what her ailment is or what it is here, but she's not. They took advantage of a handicapped child, okay? They're right here that Geller said every time the family's lawyer, Guri, tried to speak up, he was silenced. The 5-year-old victim, Jayla, was never mentioned by Kroger or the judge or by the police. So, why are we continuing to have these borders wide open? Why are we continuing to allow this to happen? Why is this judge telling people, don't speak of this? Don't talk of this. This, I believe, is purely for political purposes. It is for politically correct purposes. It destroys the narrative that all these people holding signs, oh yay, refugees are welcome, refugees are welcome. But at the end of the day, they call this young child the victim. She wasn't able to defend herself. She was just living in a nice little apartment complex, probably playing in the courtyard. And these 3 refugee Muslim children, 2 Iraqi, 1 Sudanese, attack her, brutally rape her, and they get probation. At a minimum, juvenile hall. Give them something. Oh, but the court proceeding was hard enough for them. Really? If anything, they should be deported back to their home nation with their families immediately. And the judge silencing everybody. That just blows my mind. Now, it's one thing in a juvenile case, right? You don't talk about what happened with the people and the individuals involved, right? They're minors. But the facts of the case, they go against the liberal narrative, and that is why they are trying to silence this message. So we are reporting on the facts as we've seen them, as we've heard them, bringing them to you, and it is up to us to make this message absolutely viral across America. I'm counting on you, and this little girl is counting on you too. Do not let her voice and her mother's voice and her parents' voice be silenced. It is our job to let America know that enough is enough. Leave your comments below. Help us, please, get this video viral. By all means. Share this everywhere. What do you think the punishment should be? Of course, you can comment on that. Was justice served? I don't think so. I'll see you at the next report for the Next News Network. I'm Gary Franchi.
You possess the power to impact the global narrative. Please share this report, and to get more videos like this, become a Next News subscriber by clicking the link below. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.